And I think a lot of times, especially with culture, people don't always understand what it's like to be involved in a culture and to like be involved in a culture that's like, it's not a mainstream culture. So like, you know, you would have to be involved and be next to people to know the people that made merch and to be out somewhere and to see, oh, this person wearing this person's merch. Like you out, you just see a shirt just like all the other 50 shirts, but I know that this shirt is made by somebody, you know, in Rockford. You know, I know that this song that this person pulled up listening to, you know, is a Rockford artist. And there's this, or the same thing, like I've been in places a lot, you know, where, you know, and again, for me, I got I had a lot of this burden sort of lifted off of my shoulders in 2020 when I got some validation in some of these things outside of hip hop and outside of music and in a different area. And it really sort of changed my perspective of what it would mean to get it within hip hop and what it would mean to get it within music. And I think a lot of times, sometimes we look for validation because we want purpose. And I think a lot of people who are artists, when you are an artist, like I've only met maybe a handful of artists in my whole lifetime where this person is their ambition is higher than their artistry, or their ambition is equal to their artistry. Most people who are artists don't have that ambition. It's not usually things that it don't go together, you know, because part of ambition is like you creating and you putting something out, you move into the next thing, like you know, you know, like, you know, where those, you know, usually those two things sort of go against each other. Right. Like I talk all the time where it's different people who I know who are like engineers and have recorded music, produced music, and if they just recorded music and wrote music as often as I do without having it, they would be good. I would have rode their coattails to wherever we needed to go because they had already put in the money to get the equipment. They put in the time and the years to get the sound right, but their artistic spirit was of one where they kept most of the things they recorded in the crib. You know, even when I talk to different artists, there's so many artists where the majority of the things that they've recorded, they haven't put out. They've held on to these things. And the ambition side of, or like somebody who would, for example, they just wanted to make a record label. Somebody that, and they are just worried about the business side of it. The business side, not letting you keep this stuff and not put it out. Like you put it out because that's the way you get to the next thing. Right. You know, you have the studio. You could put the crew together and have 6 people here. You already got the equipment. You don't got to pay for nothing, you know, but usually the people who have those things, they don't have the other side of that. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that that's usually how art works, where people who are authors sometimes take 5 years, 10 years to write the book. The publisher wants the book as quick as possible because they operate from different mindsets. And I think that one of the things that happens is that when you are a really good artist, you operate from that mindset where you're not always just in a rush to put something out. You're not always thinking about how can I get the most people to listen to this? How can I get the most people to be at this show? How can I get the most people to be wearing this? How can I make the most? You think about trying to create the best version of whatever it is. You think about trying to take whatever vision you have and manifesting that vision in the way that's the best, the most expressive way of what you originally, you know, had in your mind. And once you get it created and it's done and it's put together, the satisfaction you get from that sometimes also overrides the ambition to like now push this further, you know, because you've gotten, like you talked about, like it's levels to these different things. Most of the people, when you create something and you like, all right, I want to make a song, the majority of people who ever wanted to make a song never made the song. So once you even make the song and you have the song now, you enter this like top 3% of everybody who ever wants to do this anyways. And it's hard to then, in that 3%, enter the top 1% of that where now you push the song. And then it's harder to even equal the top 1% of that where now you make the connections or make the compromises in your, whatever your belief system is, to get the song further or to be in other places or to move somewhere else and to live in these different areas, you know, because all of those things don't always have any type of connection to like being good at creating art. You know, there's so many separate things that go into it, these different facets. And I think that what is special though is when you become a part of some type of local culture where you not doing it and taking it to this certain level, instead of it just being gone and is, nobody can get anything from it, like you contribute this piece where one day somebody just gonna be from here and they gonna be able to take off because of these different pieces that's been contributed. And if you in it for the long run, you will get some benefit from that. Like you will get, it's somebody who was in Atlanta, rapping and doing music, and they wasn't getting very far. And then Atlanta started popping off, and they was good. They was 45. They had a studio. They was recording for the last 20 years. They've been good. Like they family been good. Yeah. There's somebody who before, music was big in Louisville, was been trying to do rap and been trying to do, and all it just took was a couple people, or Flint, same thing, where a few artists, rise tides, how streaming goes, you still got your old music on streaming, all of these things can still be got into. And so in 5 years, if somebody come and they take it to a place where nobody else locally has taken it before, as long as local people have put in the infrastructure together, like you could be in a good place from this, just from staying patient and not feeling like you had to get to it by this point in time, or that succeeding in whatever it is that you was doing also meant having like financial and commercial success,
Yeah, for sure, bro.